Most people think that owning one rental property is a side hustle. It's not. It's a liability with a small paycheck. I call this crazy land because you're one repair away from losing all your profit and maybe having to have cash come out of your pocket. I call this crazy land because you're one repair away from losing a whole year of profit. Now, let's talk about this because a lot of people think, I want to get into owning rental properties and I want to buy one of them. What are you going to do with, how are we going to buy one rental property? Well, maybe if you're like a lot of people, you're going to go look at Zillow and you're going to look for a house and you're going to want to find something that's retail that looks like a good deal. Well, to buy this first house, well, you find that house, and to buy it, you need to get a rental property loan. So you need to put 20% down. So let's say a $100,000 house, you put $20,000 down to acquire this property. You get one little property, and let's say, I averaged it out, but let's say your property averages $300 cash flow every single month. Now, if you're thinking, hey, that sounds great, if you have one vacancy or one repair that's kind of large, all of that is gone pretty quickly. So when you have only one, that's why we call it the trap. When you have only one, you need a $5,000 emergency fund just for that property in case the air conditioner goes out. You have vacancies, the tenant messes the property up. There's a whole lot of things that can go wrong that is gonna really throw you off, and because it messes you up, you're probably gonna say, rental properties suck, I hate being a landlord, this is awful, I don't wanna do it. So we call one a trap, but the cure is scaling. So now you say, Eddie, how do you scale in rental properties? I just spent $20,000 in my first one. I don't have another $20,000 to put for another one. How am I gonna scale? Well, that's where we talk about the engine. So the engine, we're gonna have a cycle that goes like this. We have money here, we have houses here. It's gonna just keep perpetually feeding itself as it goes along. So, if you're not familiar, the BRRRR method is called buy, rehab, rent out, refinance, repeat. So that's the thing. You buy it, you rehab it, you rent it out, you refinance, and you repeat. So that's gonna keep this engine going. So, how do you do that? You get private lenders. So you could call a whole bunch of the hard money lenders which are around. We think it's a better idea to call people that you have a good amount of money sitting in the bank. Maybe they want to get a better return than they currently are. Or maybe they don't trust the stock market. Or maybe they just have so much money and they like you. They're going to be like, hey, I trust this person. I'm going to let them take some of this money and invest it. It's an investment. You give them a return on their investment. It is not a gift or an interest-free loan or anything like that. But you find private lenders. And then you find off-market deals. So how do you find off-market deals? You can drive for dollars. That's driving around neighborhoods looking for distressed properties. You could go to, and then trying to contact the owners of those distressed properties, see if you can buy them. You go to the tax sale, you go to the foreclosure auctions, you could talk to people at your church or in your community about if they have properties that they know of that you could buy. There's a whole lot of ways to find this. Now, once again, we don't recommend Zillow. Zillow, maybe there's a chance out there, but more likely than not, you're gonna have a hard time finding a really good deal in Zillow. And wholesalers, because they do a markup on the property, they get it for so much, they mark it up. The deal doesn't make sense that much, so you're not gonna get such great deals. So find the off-market deals yourself. It's gonna take some legwork, but when you do it, you're gonna find some really great properties. So let's talk about how this works. So you get the private lender, you find the off-market deal. Now, your all-in cost when you buy the property and rehab it are $100,000. Now your numbers could be different. I'm just using these for demonstration's sake, but let's say you buy it for $100,000. That's purchase price and rehab and your interest and all that. So you're in the property for $100,000. The value of that property is $150,000. So now you have your net worth just went up $50,000 on top of that. You refi $100,000 to pay back your rehabbers, and then you can do an infinite return. So an infinite return because you have $0 left in this deal. Whereas up here, you had 20% left in the property. And you can't do that many deals when you have 20% locked up. So the freedom comes when you get 10 doors. Now your 10 doors can look a whole bunch of different ways. It could be 10 single family houses. You could have a fourplex, a duplex, and 4 single family houses. You could buy an eightplex. It just depends how you do it. Now, let's say these 10 doors, they're bringing in average here between $2,000 and $4,000 a month. Let's say you're making $200 a month times 10, 2,000 or 4,000. Now, that's what you're making per month. And this is why you're no longer in crazy land. This steps you up from, oh gosh, if something happens, I don't know what's gonna happen, to now you have enough money. If you have one vacancy, if you have an AC that goes bad and you have to repair it, it is going to be covered by this. So every single month, you're getting this kind of cash flow. Now, I wouldn't be spending this money. I'd still keep it aside so you could do more of this. But the other big thing is once you get to 10, so if you're here, if you're in one property, now you can't afford to even hire a property manager because they're gonna take half of this cash flow. They're gonna take about half of this cash flow, and then if there's maintenance and other things, so you're going to be doing your maintenance on your own. So if the toilet gets clogged, you're going to be going out. If there's an issue, you're going to be going out. Or you're going to be hiring somebody to go out, and that's going to cost a lot of money. When you get to 10 doors, now you can hire a manager to manage this because you're busy doing this. So a good property manager, they're going to charge you about 10% of the rent. So let's say these 10 doors, they're renting for $1,000 each, that's $10,000. So you would be paying about $1,000 for management. But when you do that, you can find more of these. It frees your time up to be able to do more of these. So if you're thinking, hey, how do I get into property owner? How do I buy my first rental? Or maybe you have your first rental and you're like, how do I get to the next level? I can't figure this out. Well, this is how you do it. This is the roadmap on how you do it. Now, when you need a property management company, VP Property Management, we're here to help you manage your property for you. Now, if you're in a place like California or New York or somewhere where real estate is crazy high, a house here that costs $100,000 costs $1 million in those areas. Maybe it's a little different because you're like, I got $100,000 sitting around. I can buy that house cash, let it cash flow for a little bit, then refinance out, and then do it again. Those are different situations, but if you're not here, you still need to talk to a property management, and VP Property Management we'd love to be the person for you to manage your property. So anyway, or if you just want to talk about this more, schedule time, talk with us, we can walk you through it.